Hi, it's Katie here from Align and Advance. Hello, thanks for listening if you're listening on the podcast and watching if you're on YouTube. Today I wanted to talk about the most amazing Reiki session that I did this week, and it's just made me feel so good. It's just made my week. It was on a lovely, lovely cob called Nancy, and she needed her legs clipped. She is usually sedated to have this done. So I'll give you a bit of background on Nancy. She is a traditional cob. She's beautiful. She unfortunately suffers from something that a lot of cobs suffer from called CPL, and this makes like sores and like scabby bits on her legs. So she has to have her legs clipped regularly, every 2 to 4 weeks, usually, depending on the time of year and the hair growth, to keep the fur short enough for her owner to be able to correctly deal with the sores and the scabs and to be able to keep her comfortable. So the skin gets very dry as well. And her owner does a really, really good job of keeping her fur short and looking after her with sore bits. So the sore bits will never go away. They just have to be maintained to keep her comfortable, bless her. So yeah, that's her kind of situation that she's in. When the current owner bought Nancy, she came with all her details of things that she has, things that she's fed, things that you need to do to her, and specific instructions to do with this CPL. The owner had never dealt with CPL before. And one of the instructions was to clip her every 2 to 4 weeks and to sedate her when she's being clipped. So she was told to give her a whole tube of domicedin gel to sedate her, and old owners have been doing that for a long time. So that's what the current owner did. She sedated her with the domicedin gel, got a professional clipping lady in to clip her legs so that she had really good quality clippers, really sharp blades, so to make it the most comfortable it can be for Nancy. And she's like, professional clipping people are quick, so to get it done quickly and everything. And she had like a rolling thing with this lady to come and clip her legs and everything. Over the last few times that she's been clipped, Nancy has not gone under with the sedation very well. So her current owner has been looking after her sores on her legs really well, but they do get worse in the winter. And Nancy didn't seem to was showing signs that she didn't want to be sedated. And was resisting it. So her current owner doesn't give her a whole tube of domicedin gel anymore. She didn't seem to need that over the summer, and she was trying to gradually come away from sedating her so often. I'm not a vet. I don't know if there's bad side effects to sedating a horse with domicedin regularly, but it doesn't seem very nice. And yes, so they were trying to come away from sedating her so heavily, but the last few times she has just seemed upset about being sedated at all. She showed signs of being upset from the night before that she was clipped. So her routine is that her legs are washed the night before with a special medicated shampoo. And then the next morning, they'll go in, put a head collar on, give her the sedation gel, let that work. Then the clipping lady arrives, clips her, and then that's the end of that. And then once she's out of the sedation, she goes back out in the field. So she started to associate correctly the fact that she had her legs clipped the night before, and then the next morning the sedation was going to come and the clipping. So she she was starting to get stressed from the night before, which was a bit upsetting. And then the next morning after the legs were washed, when they went in to try and put a head collar on and everything, she'd hide at the back of the stable or run around in circles and was distressed about having her head collar put on, because she knew that that was the time then that the station was going to come. And and so she didn't seem to like it. And then over the next couple of days, she seemed to have trust issues about when her head collar was put on, and when she was handled around the stable, like it was going to happen again. So to try to make her happier, to try and make her happier would just be just to not clip her legs. However, that can't happen because these sores have to be managed correctly, and we do need the fur short to be able to manage them. So the owner said, could we try Reiki and try and see if she will relax enough for us to clip her legs without any sedation? So I said, yeah, absolutely, let's try it. We didn't get the clipping lady in for the first time because we thought we'd just keep it quite calm, and then we'll just try and clip her legs a little bit. And if we can't manage very much at all, that's fine. We'll just take it step by step for her. So since this stress starts to happen from the night before, what we did was her owner washed her legs the night before, and then I came down and gave her some Reiki with her owner. And so talked to her owner through a relaxation, spoke to her about her breathing and her energy, and then did a full Reiki session on Nancy, and she loved it. She let me touch all 4 of her legs, and because you don't have to do hands-on touch during a Reiki session, but I did want to try and touch her legs because we were going to need to touch her legs the next day. So I just thought I'd give it a try and I'll back off if it's a problem. But she was absolutely fine. She let me touch her legs. At one point, she had her eyes like almost closed and she was just swaying backwards and forwards. She all the usual signs of release were there: really soft eyes, lowered head, ears flopped out to the side, yawning. So yeah, she just like ticked all the boxes for the fact that she'd received the Reiki really well. And she was nice and relaxed that night. The next day, when they got to the yard, they went in and put her head collar on her, and she was absolutely fine. Didn't get stressed at all about having her head collar put on. She had to have her hooves done that day, but she's absolutely fine to be shod, so that was all right. So she had a little manicure. And then she went back into her stable. And then I came and I did like a kind of half Reiki session on her until she was really relaxed. Then we turned the clippers on while I carried on doing some Reiki. And then Nancy's also quite ticklish. She doesn't like any kind of light touch. She likes you to be fairly heavy-handed on her. If you kind of touch her lightly or brush her lightly, she kind of shakes her skin as if there's a fly on her. So we went to her back legs first because they were the least sore, and to kind of counteract the tickly feeling of the clippers, we scratched her bottom. Which she absolutely loves. So there was one of us scratching her bottom, and the other one, while she was really relaxed, fully clipped her back legs, bless her, and she did not move a muscle. She didn't have any food. She didn't have a lick or anything. She never hay net. She was just completely relaxed, and just a little lip was going, enjoying her bottom scratch, and she let us fully clip her legs. She's got quite a large sore on one of her back legs, but that is being really well looked after, so it's not like an open wound or anything. But like I said, these things won't go away, but this is being managed really well. So she let us clip over that and was absolutely fine. So we were absolutely thrilled to bits. So after we'd finished the back legs, we backed off for a minute, and then I went back in, did a little bit more Reiki, and then we went to move on to the front legs. And during the leg wash the night before, it had become apparent that some big sores had come up on the front legs. So we knew that this was going to be a little bit of a problem for her. So we moved to the front legs, and we scratched her underneath her tummy and in between her front legs, and we decided that we were going to just try and clip on the not sore bits first of all. So we did our best, and we started to clip her not sore bits, which she was absolutely fine with. But then when we got round to the sore bits, she was snatching her leg up and then just walking around the stable. And we decided from the beginning that if she wanted to move away from us, we were going to let her move away from us. We didn't want this to be a traumatic experience. So we let her move away from us for a bit, went back in with a bit more Reiki, and then we started to clip again. So, but what we did was we just clipped up to the sore bits, and we got a little bit off as much as we could without distressing her. And then we used this excellent, I think it was called an Equishave tool, because I said, I think that we need to not be mean and not put this not put the clippers over her sore bits. So and I was thinking of like tools that people use. I don't know if you know what they are. They're plastic like comb things with a little blade in to get the hair off, because the hair does need to be really quite short to manage these sores. But the lady that owns the yard said, I've got this excellent tool, and it's meant to be used for like doing the horses' beards when you're going showing, and it's like a blade inside a plastic comb, and then you just slide it down the fur, and then it just trims the fur off. So we did that over the sore bits, and she was absolutely fine. So all in all, we got all 4 legs clipped, and we did this little tool really gently over the sore bits. And yeah, she was as happy as anything. And then we finished off with a little bit of Reiki just to mellow her out. And then she got a nice little treat of some haylage. And she was a really happy horse. So I was absolutely thrilled to bits that it's going from having to be sedated and her being like quite distressed about that, to then being able to completely clip all 4 legs without sedation and get those bits over the sores short enough that they can now be looked after, because these sores just like appear, that they can now be looked after, and then it'll be even more comfortable for her the next time. So we've got a plan going forward that I'm doing. So she's having her legs clipped again in 3 weeks' time, and her clipping lady is coming on that one, and she's on board with trying the Reiki. And so I am giving her some Reiki once a week until then, with absolutely no expectation from her to do anything else other than receive the energy. And then we'll do exactly the same thing again next time her legs are clipped. She'll have her legs washed, then I'll do the Reiki the night before, then come in, do some before the lady starts clipping her legs, and then if she gets distressed, we'll stop, and then we'll do some more, and we're just going to take our time with it. So we booked out quite a long time with the clipping lady, just in case the second time she's a little bit more knowing to what's going on. But I think she's going to be absolutely fine, because we've got it in place that we're going to use this tool on any sore bits, but I don't think the bits will even be sore by then. So that will be great. And then, and then hopefully she can have her legs clipped again and never be sedated for it again. So that's amazing. Really, really didn't expect. I've done Reiki on this horse once before, and that was her first ever time, and she enjoyed it, but it took her a while. Sometimes when you do Reiki for the first time, it takes them a minute to say, well, hold on, I'm not used to like this energy around a human. And it took her a while to get into it, but yeah, she's absolutely really on board with it now, and really in a relaxed state, so that's good. And I've seen her since, and she is still relaxed. She's just absolutely loving life. She's been really calm. Her owner's like carrying on with the energy that we spoke about, and like the breathing techniques around her, and kind of the energy that you can give off yourself around the horse. And it's just really nice to see they're really, really relaxed. So I just wanted to share that with you, and just another way that Reiki can benefit horses. And it was just such a lovely thing. So thank you for listening or watching. If you've got any stories of horses, if you know any that have received Reiki and really enjoyed it, or it's improved anything for them, let me know. I love hearing about things like that. Or if you've got a horse that you think, oh, I wonder if it could benefit them, then get in contact, because I'd love to chat to you about them. The answer is probably yes, it can benefit them. So it benefits everybody in so many different ways, but there you go. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon for the next episode. Take care. Bye.